Hello guys, this is JC Grande again with another video, with another process video. This time we're going to be working on drawing and inking this page from a project, from a comic book project called Birthright, written by Travis Beth and illustrated by JC Grande. All we have here is the rough stage of the page. We have in the story, it is a dark fantasy story with Viking characters against different kinds of fantastic dark creatures. And this page is one of the we're getting ready. I'm getting to the final of the first issue. So this is this is not the last page, but we're getting there. So this is the rough page. We're going to be inking. Uh, we're going to get started using my brush. This is a number two brush, and we're going to be using also our nib pens. This way, our nib pens for it. Also markers and these kinds of pens. So we're going to incorporate also the pen brush. What I usually do when I'm starting a page, this inking a page just like this, as rough as this, is I try to identify where the light source is coming, where the major concentration of black ink is going to be incorporated in a piece like this, because that helps me to understand the volume, to understand the form of the object much easier. At least that's how I have learned through all these years. So we're gonna get started. As I said, identifying the big chunks of black shadow that is going to be affecting this character here. If our light source is coming this way, it means that the shadow is going to be right here, the major concentration of shadow. So we're going to try to build the image thinking like that, having that thing in our mind so we don't lose the consistency of light in our page. There's some weird noise that you can hear in the background. That's some insects that in this part of the year we have them a lot here in the place where I live in, the country where I live in. So I apologize for the sound that you hear. It's especially this time of the day, which is the afternoon. All those insects get into that kind of thing that they do, which is like, I don't know, it's like I think that they are like singing or something, but it's kind of loud, and I'm used to it, but I don't know if people know those insects in other parts of the world. Okay, now we are. Uh, there is there are some parts that are really rough uh, in this face, this drone face. I like to keep it like that so I can have some of the energy that you tend to get when you're doing your roughs, because when you are um, rendering and doing all the details, some of that energy is lost. So I try to uh, keep some of that energy in this inking with a rougher version of the pencils. So this is our main character. Inking with the brush can make your drawings more maybe naturalistic, as is soft and bland tip. Yeah, I can see the sound has intensified. Well, we're going to move to the horse. Some hair. I like drawing horses, animals in general, really, especially dogs and cats, and I like animals. There are certain things that some artists like to draw cars and weapons and all that. I'm not really into cars. I can draw them, but it's not my thing. And weapons, like guns and all that, I like it, but I prefer the fantasy kind of stuff or science fiction, uh, like different types of, of weapons that were made in another planet or something. I like using the brush. It's kind of neat, and I love the kind of lines and shapes that you can get with it, depending on how you use it. Frank Frazetta was a really good horse uh, illustrator, and there are some other that may be specialized in the subject. I think I'm pretty fast at inking with the brush. Uh, I like to combine inking with the brush and also combine it with pen work. When I got started, I just inking was so difficult for me, and I just tried to do everything with the pen. And then I got I'm a very curious person, so I wanted to see and try how inking with the brush uh, works, and I got frustrated because I wasn't that good. But with some time and practice, uh, you can get better. Yeah, the combination of using brush and pens is very powerful. I think in the 60s, a lot of inkers uh, preferred using brush a lot. And I think it was Neil Adams, the one of the uh, instigators of using a combination of both. I kind of like the looseness that you can achieve with brush. I love to feel the, I mean, how free you can feel using it, the freedom that you can feel once you get to a certain point that you are comfortable with the tool. All of the tools have a learning curve, but once you get to the point that you have practiced a lot and you feel confident with it, you end up loving it, loving those tools. The same thing happened to me with the nib pens. It was kind of difficult at the beginning. I wouldn't say that I'm a master, but I kind of know how to use them. And it was a long time ago, and I was like doing things digitally. I still do use digital tools, but there are certain, I mean, there's uh, certain aspects that you cannot get when you're inking with a computer or an iPad. There's something that makes you feel very energetic. I mean, your brains get like uh, energized with when you're working on paper, when you're doing your lettering or your artwork, and when you're using the computer, you tend to feel tired, much more tired. That's how I feel. I do love it. I do a lot of things in the computer, like I do coloring as well. Yeah, I do color my own work, my own comics, and it can be very challenging because you feel much more tired. I end up much more tired. This is a big horse because this is a big dude. He's a really tall warrior. There's also another thing that working traditionally, I think it's more comfortable for your eyes and for your posture than working at a computer. As you feel more like, at least I feel like um the same posture all the time, and my eyes get dried a lot. So I tend to do some projects uh, depending on the need. I do some using digital tools and some others on paper. This one I enjoy doing it on paper because we have a lot of nature in the book. We have trees and animals and all that stuff. So I enjoy it doing it like this. It feels more like you're doing some painting sometimes when you're drawing nature and the trees and all the uh, waterfalls and stuff like that. Well, we're going to switch to using this nib pen. The ink is kind of wet, still kind of wet. Sometimes some accidents can happen, so you gotta be careful when attempting doing something like this. I do it because, oh well, because I have some experience, even though I screw up sometimes. But at this stage, I'm only trying to go with the flow and to not worry about mistakes because I commit tons of mistakes. But I do not care much at this stage because I just want to feel the what's going on and to make the images uh, look kind of real and all that. So I don't worry about mistakes in this phase, but we have always have our whiteout to come to the rescue. I'm going to let this part over here to dry some more, and we're going to come back here later on. We're going to move to these panels. I do not work in the right order, which is not something that I would advise, but I can help it. Just like this. I just like and choose the scenes that attracts me more and that I enjoy the most first, and then I keep on building the page using the other scenes. So we're going to move to this over here, a pretty cool kind of close up on the sword. Meanwhile, all the other ink is dried. This ink dries really fast, so it wouldn't be a lot of time. Depending on how you hold your your brush, you can have different kind of strokes, different kind of shapes. I like to use when I'm inking. I like to use this posture because somehow it helps me to control the stroke from the beginning till the end. And I use my arm, not just my wrist, but my arm to make it movements like this, to have long strokes, and to not uh, and do not make the stroke look like uh, maybe I don't know how to say it. Maybe like if you're not really sure of what you're doing, like bland, yeah, something like that. It makes your stroke look like much more professional, like you know what you're doing. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, we're going to switch a bit the angle. We're going to try to uh, use pressure as much as we can to achieve different strokes and different line weights. As you can see, I got back to this posture, to this the way that I'm handling the brush. Depending on what you're doing, you can switch around. I'm switching around again. That depends on what you're trying to achieve. And I also do not uh, do my strokes. I mean, do my shapes in a single stroke. I rarely do it. Maybe with cartoonier stuff, but for something more, let's say, semi-realistic work like my stuff, I like to do it in chunks, not really like a whole stroke. So this guy is preparing for a quest. We have the hand here. And at this stage, I do not care about the panel borders. I have some indication here of the panel borders. I do not care much because all these borders are going to be filled up with black ink, so it makes it doesn't matter at this point. So you can get more energy when you go it like this, when you do it like this. So do it every time that you want to get more energy. That's you will get some really interesting shapes, really interesting uh, forms like that. One of my favorite inkers is Dan Green. He was um, the inker for Silvestri for the Wolverine comics in the 80s. So every time that I'm inking, I'm thinking about his work because it meant a lot to me because I learned a lot just by looking at pictures. So if you see some similarities, it's because of that. I wish he was such a master. I'm not comparing myself to him because I couldn't. But some of his influence maybe you can see in some of my inking process. And he also seems to be very fast. He passed away, unfortunately, and he also seemed very fast. So I'm really attracted to the artwork that you see that's done fast, but at the same time, it keeps consistency. Okay, this kind of strokes are really nice because you start very thin and near the end you go a bit wider. It's kind of neat. For metal, it's a great texture. Okay, now we have this part. We have two panels pretty much, well, some of it, because we have this other character here in the background. Still there. I think it's pretty much safe to keep working in here. It's dried up already. It seems to. I would say experiment as much as you can. Do not care about mistakes. I do not. I make mistakes all the time. But I like to experiment because uh, I've been doing that for years because I'm very curious, and thanks to that, I have been able to learn a lot. And that's why I tell people who are looking into inking and drawing, just experiment a lot. Do not stick to just one style or just one uh, type of, of I don't know, type of genre. Work on different genres. Some muscles here. And that's the great thing about digital work. That's one of the pros I find in digital because you can experiment a lot with inking. You can do it on paper too, but it's easier. So all the stuff that you learn using the computer or your iPad, all those techniques, all those things that you learn, you can use them later on paper. Because some people say that using the computer too much decreases your ability. I don't think so. I think it's if you can be able to bring those uh, things that you learn onto your canvas or paper or artboard, you're good. For example, some of the shapes that I'm doing these days, I learned from using Procreate and all Clip Studio and all those software programs on the iPad because you feel a lot of freedom to do it. So you learn to using uh, those strokes there, and then you bring them to your paper. Most of these are rough pencils, not really anything tight. So I'm pretty much building up the image uh, while I'm inking. This guy is getting ready for the quest. Really cool character design. Written by Travis Beth. Really talented. Okay, we're going to leave the the lighter places for the pen, so it looks smoother. So we are going to continue with the large areas, with the large concentration of blacks, of black spaces, black shadows for the character. I kind of like this pose. It's pretty neat. Okay, and we almost have like three panels right now. We have this one, the first one, and then we have this one, and number three we have just one more. I think it's the more challenging because we have the horse and we have uh, the other character, packing all the stuff in the horse. So we're gonna leave that till the end, and we're going to move to this guy over here. I think all this ink is already dried up, so it's safe for me to go back and do something uh, with certain freedom to this character. Going to see where all the shadows are going. Remember the light sources over here, so the shadows are mostly concentrated in this part over here. That's what we're looking for. That's going to help us to learn the volume of the figure. We have this dude over here saying goodbye to our warrior. I really enjoy drawing clothing using the brushes. It's really cool. I love it. That's why I'm thinking about doing a kind of detective story for my comics so I can get to draw a lot of clothing in the characters because I love it. I enjoy it a lot. As I said, I enjoy drawing animals and clothing, nature. I do not enjoy doing cars or realistic weapons. Buildings and cityscape, I like it. Kind of like it. What about you? What kind of things uh, do you enjoy the most when you're drawing? Okay, I think this is enough. And oh, we need to go into the face. We are like 30 minutes right now, and I think we had made a great deal of progress in this page for 30 minutes. I think we're doing pretty good. Okay, I made some mistake in here and covered some of the beard, but we'll have to use or white out later on. And don't forget your light source. You have to keep that thing in mind all the time. And we're going to use our actually this pen. I think it's easier, especially with all this ink that we have already here. So let's use this one. It's hard for me not to move around the page, but I think I'm learning. I have improved my. I mean, it's okay if you move around your page, but when you're uh, when you're making a video like this, moving the page too much is like annoying. So I'm getting like learning to work on a static page, like without moving around too much. So I think I'm improving. As I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but for recording this kind of videos, it's better to keep it in just one place and not move it around too much. You see now the image is pretty much at least the silhouette, at least the form, the shape of the characters is there already. You can go and make some texture and hatching and all that details, but at this stage it works. So that's our main thing. We have to make the character uh, there, the basic structure of the character. Then you decide if you want to do much more details or much more texture work or whatever you need. But the basic structure is uh, is very crucial for me to get it at this stage, and then you can get back here and do all and add the other things. But this is the most important for me, which is you get to do all the characters and their looks and their volume and uh, their their place in the page. We're going to add some details to those eyes. So you see we have our dude here, our main character. Okay, you can add more details. I can still go back, come back and do more details. Right now, we're gonna keep it like that, so we can finish the page and the video do not get much longer. Uh, I'm also trying to be a more be a bit more simplistic about on my work because I sometimes I do too much detail, I think, and for the future projects I'm going to try to be a bit more uh, do not I'm going to try to be a bit less excessive with the details, just what's necessary. It's sometimes it's hard for me to talk when while I'm working. I'm getting used to it as well, but sometimes I do say things that maybe are not well pronounced or something. I don't know, but I'm learning. I think I'm getting better. My friends told me that. Let's do this very very strong dude, big guy. We have his friend in the background. It's like when things are in the background and in certain areas that can be confusing sometimes for the reader. So I try to keep and leave the artwork just using lines, so it doesn't get confused with the foreground things in the background like this. And we are getting there to the final panel. We are 44 minutes right now. I think we have completed a pretty good deal of inking here. Okay. Now that we have warmed up, it's time to go into the uh, more challenging uh, panel. We have our horse here. some muscles to the legs. Try to keep it consistent to the other one that I did, to the other image of the horse that I did in the later panels. I'm drawing by memory. This horse, I'm doing it by memory. Sometimes I use reference, but I wanted to try and see if I can get it by memory. As I said, I love drawing animals. I'm not the best one, but I like it. I also love drawing monsters. Really cool monsters, like classic ones. All right. So this guy is like packing his work, his things. We have the hand here. This is a really rough pencil work, so I'm doing pretty much all the drawing using ink. It was just some indication of where the character is, but it was not really refined. So I'm doing it with ink. It's like preparing for his journey. And that's why I like about this brushes too, because you can do a lot of really fine detail. Really fine detail and some texture work. We are 49 minutes on this page, and I would say that the characters are pretty much done. As I say, you can go back. I'm going to go back later and do uh, some more texture work and hatching and more, maybe a bit more shadows and all that. But this is this could be done like this. So we did the characters in 40, 50 minutes. That's pretty good, I would say. But that's because I didn't do a lot of pencils as well. So I pretty much went straight to ink. No happy accidents so far. I think the ink has responded really well to this paper, and it has dried up uh, really fast, and that allowed me to go fast as well. Going to do some of this thing on the horse. There you go. Then some final details to this small face. Sometimes the smaller uh, images are the tougher ones. It's not easy to work on small figures. And I think we are pretty much done. The characters are completed, and as I said, you can do some more texture work, hatching and uh, grayscale with your lines and whatever. But the basic structure of the characters are done by now. So it took us like 51 minutes to complete it. Uh, Thank you very much, guys, for uh, taking the time to share with me this process, uh, to share with me this time where I can share and show you my process of how I do my work. I hope you liked it, and I hope you are here next time for the next video. I'm going to be uploading more and more material, and in my YouTube channel, and also on my Facebook page, JC Grande Arts. So I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you next time in the next video. Thank you very much, guys. This is the final result of the character face of the page. Thank you very much. See you next time.